Tonight, we will once again witness history. For the first time, we will have crowned back-to-back consecutive champions in NASA Rallycross, unless you count the two buffoons that are in the commentary queue back in 2015 and 2016, because there was a season in there that didn't count. It's weird. It's NASA. It's a big meme. This season's story has all been Luke Krause. The Canadian has absolutely obliterated records for a single season with 6 wins, including 5 in a row. Fiercely Forward gets their redemption from last season, locking up the Constructors' Championship. So you're going to ask me, what's left? Bragging rights. The last 2 rounds have no points implications, so we are going to see an absolute brawl for every position on track. We welcome you to the Atlanta Long March for Peace Armistice Remembrance presented by DNF Auto Care. Our broadcast also brought to you by Simracer Coin, the cryptocurrency made by Simracers for Simracers, and our 19 Simracers will race to own the winner's coin tonight. With that being said, with the Drivers' Championship, 43 points is the gap between the two Fiercely Forward teammates, and we have 2 races left, and the maximum amount of points you get per race is 33. So, that's pretty obvious to figure that one out. The Sportsman Cup presented by KES Industries. Keep 'em Spinning Industries, adaptive controls for sim racing. We thank Mario Bonfante Jr. for all of your support this season. KESindustries.com. Andrew Howell, 23 points ahead of Parker Fleming. That championship was heated until Wild Horse, when Parker Fleming did not attend that race, and as such, Howell has pulled away 90 points over 67. The Constructors' Championship presented by Ferris Shifters. Shift your way to the top, facebook.com/Ferris Shifters. Fiercely Forward, 385 points, 75 ahead of Drive SVR LLM. Ferris Shifters, Dirty Sport, and Sequential through that top 5. And that championship, I did the quick math, it's settled, even if there are more points available than what they have on the lead. Theoretically, Fiercely Forward would have to not attend, and we know that's not going to happen. And finally, the Manufacturers' Championship, powered by Majors Garage. Subaru has had a complete clean sweep of the championship this season so far. 261 versus Volkswagen 149, and Ford has 125. A couple more partners to mention through our show tonight: iDrive Sim Training, Drive Safe, Arrive Safe, iDriveSimTraining.com.au, and DNF Auto Care, your friendly Lansboro mechanic, DNFAutoCare.com.au. Cody Erdmann a little bit late, so I will be blabbing to myself. It's Josh Mertz in the commentary box, bringing the call for Nitro Circus Twitch, powered by the Automotive Sports Network. Cody Erdmann's going to be strolling in momentarily. We have Zack Johnson in the production truck, so we'll go through the format for today's race. As we have 3 heat races, up to 11 cars in each, 6 laps, Joker once, and the top 2 advance, as we are back to Jokers here in Atlanta. Semifinals, 2 groups, up to 13 cars in each, 8 laps this time, and you have to take the Joker lap twice. The top 3 will advance. So then you will have 12 cars, 10 laps, and 2 Jokers to figure out who's going to win here in Atlanta, Georgia. 0.97 miles in length, 8 corners, and it's a cloudy day here in Hampton. 83 degrees, 104 track temperature, not a lot of wind, but the cool temperatures really going to help you on the asphalt and through the fishbowl corner. The dog slide, I think that's what they call on the pro broadcasts. We just like to do differently here. As we're taking a look right now, I think that's Parker Fleming in one of the Fords in the 434 for Sequential SimSport. As Sequential SimSport rumored to switch from the Ford program to a different manufacturer. That different manufacturer being Subaru, with Subaru's dominating performance throughout the last couple seasons here in the iRacing service. Robbie Larill currently fastest in practice by 100th of a second over David Schofield. And it looks like it's pretty tight up at the top. Matt Hartley, only win in the series, came at this track in his championship season in 2020A. So certainly the Australian knows how to get it done. Be sure to join the conversation, hashtag NASA on Nitro, or if you're on the Automotive Sports Network on demand, hashtag ASN TV USA for all of that conversation. 3 3/4 minutes left. Clog has gone to the top, 200ths ahead of Robbie Larill. We saw a couple weeks ago Robbie Larill showing pace in the 213, but he can't capitalize. He can't get it done, it seems, when he needs to. $199 a clog has one victory this season, and it was a couple weeks ago. It was in Phoenix when his teammate decided to exit stage right into the tire barrier. Clog luckily was able to pick up the pieces there, and Fiercely Forward has won every single race since then, or since the beginning of the season, I should say, except for Christian Lindo, who won the season opener in Barcelona for Spark LLM. As we look right now, it's Ray Kingsbury and Robbie Larill off the road in turn one. If we actually want to ride on board, let's see if we can get... Let's see if Ray's going to stay on track. Unless he's going to put it into the fence. Kingsbury does in the 25. So I'm going to pick up the 199 a clog. And then we're able to ride on board into turn one. If you clip the dirt on the left side, he's going to stop too. I probably should just stop trying to narrate a lap because clearly everyone is going to not run a lap. So let's see, flicking through the field. Onboard Larill, into the fishbowl. You want to get the car to rotate before the first apex, otherwise you're going to run like that. You really want the car to turn itself, and this corner very tricky. With the wall that blends in with the dirt, you don't want to hit the wall, obviously. If you get offline, you'll run the right sides into that, the grass there and into the fence. I've done that once or twice. Final couple of corners, really hard to get right. You can lock up on entry. Dirt is like 3/4 of the way through the corner, and then the car will begin to rotate further once it hits the loose stuff. Over the jump, over the crest. It's a little bit of a hop there as we start the lap. Down to turn one, like I mentioned, don't clip the dirt on the left side. You'll rotate the car too far. Sleeping policeman on the right and the left. If you hit those, you will go flying. You basically want to park the car on the apex through turn 3, and we're back into the fishbowl. You hit the berm, and you really want to be turning as you hit that bump in order to get the car to rotate. And it's a very quick lap here at Atlanta. That last lap was a 45.701 for Robbie Larill. But fastest man on circuit is Josh Clog, 44.828 for the 199. I think we're going to be getting Cody Erdmann here in just a minute. He has connected to the session. He just has not connected to the commentary cube. So as our viewers begin to roll in, and we pay attention to Larill still with the last 30 seconds left to practice, I'm going to stop blabbing for just a little bit until we get Mr. Cody Erdmann, and we will join you again in a couple minutes. as we now enter qualifying. 3 laps to determine who will grid where for the heat races. We look at Parker Fleming, who crosses the start-finish line in the 4:34 to end his first lap, 45.788 first lap on the board. And that's exactly why you don't hit the sleeping policeman, because up we go. And it looks like he broke the engine in the 4:34. We have Schofield, Larill, Kraus, everyone rolling in on their first lap. And championship leader, champion re-elect, really, Luke Kraus. Fastest of all on circuit in car number 1, 44.591. And nearly 2/10 over Robbie Larill. That's a bigger gap than what we've seen recently between those two. Just to confirm if I counted right, we should have 20 cars in today's race. A couple notables: Chris Wetz, of course Luke Kraus, Matt Hartley. So Wetz continuing his streak of racing in every single season. Nearly made the feature race, I believe, in Phoenix a couple weeks ago, but then had the issues in the semifinal. So as a result, not having too good of a day. So Kraus has upped his gap over Larill, it looks like, 44.559 for the Canadian. He ran last lap 591, so he picked up half a tenth. As we're going to look into the final couple of corners for car number 1. On screen, we have Robbie Larill in the 213. Over the jump, landing easier jump than most here at Atlanta. Over the crest and down the front straightaway, 44.984. So still slower than his fastest time. His fastest time is a 44.761. So looking through the field, we have all the way down to Andrew Howell within a second. So the top 10 within a second in the last half of the field down the order. A couple cars that have not ran a lap: Chris Wetz, Nathan Ramsey, and Matt Kingsbury. So we're going to see if Chris Wetz crosses the line in car number 71. Unless, no, he gave up on his time. That's interesting. 48 flat for Nathan Ramsey in car number 29. I believe Matt Kingsbury has a penalty where he cannot qualify, but we'll have to see. As we take a look at Bodie Cryer in the 05 crossing the line. Now we're looking at Luke Kraus. Looks as though that not a lot of movement in the grid, but it still remains at Andrew Howell 1.04 behind Luke Kraus, so top 10 within a second. As Cody Erdmann finally found his way into the commentary cube. As you missed my intro, I was talking about how we have, for the first time ever, consecutive back-to-back champions, unless you count us when we had that interrupted season. But how are you?
I am wonderful. I'm sorry. That's the joys of being a commentator and a team owner, is you got to deal with team meetings sometimes, and we've been pushing it off for a month, so it was kind of needed, as we have some big stuff coming down the pipe here a little bit. So super excited what Sequential Sim Sports going to be looking like for 2022 as we're wrapping up our season here at NASA.
As we get ready for heat number 1 here in Atlanta, Luke Kraus, defending re-elected, words are hard, he's still the champion. On pole, Josh Clogg in second, Hook Howell Forster, Benjamin Forster, new driver to the series in car number 23, Victor Aldrich, and Matt Kingsbury. So a 6-lap race, Joker once. And the fiercely forward boys on the front row of the grid. Second row of the grid is Howell and Hook. So it's almost like a Noah's Ark kind of scenario as we get ready for the first heat race here in Atlanta. Off the line, teammates are side by side down to turn 1. Will they get a little aggressive? Nice and easy through the first corner. Hook to the inside of the 199 of Clog. Over the jump for the first time. Kraus is going to lead us and begin the first lap of the race. Still battling. Hook looking to the inside of Kraus in the 199 versus the 137, and Hook to the second spot. Locks it up in the apex of the corner. Hits the curb. On the outside goes Clog. One car around it was Howell. He saves it in the 666. And Clog wasn't able to joker there, Cody, because his teammate and Hook took the joker on the first opportunity.
Yeah, as he kind of put himself in that situation, although it looks like Hook got a slowdown here, so that's going to kill his joker chance there a little bit, so he's now way off the back bumper of Luke Kraus, sorry. I think Clog wanted to, but then he kind of threw himself around the outside of that corner and set himself up that he couldn't take the joker in a safe way. He could have, but then he would have been Door and Jason Hook out of the way, and that probably would have given him a penalty anyways. As
Hook completely over the curb and extending track limits on the apex there. So as a result, not a good day for the 137 already. Clog's going to joker in the 199. He's going to have the momentum up the corner. His teammate still holds the lead. He's got a big delta. And just like that, the fiercely forward cars 1-2. Benjamin Forster in third. Fourth place, Matt Kingsbury with a little bit of damage on the back of that Volkswagen Beetle. Then Hook and Howell, the Ferris shifter cars, fifth and sixth. And at the back of the grid, Aldrich in the 98. Lap times, 44.686. Obviously, Clog ran a joker, so 36.185, but if I relate that to the joker lap, well, 56, because it was the start lap. So we really won't see the rotation until this next lap. It looks like Clog in the first couple of corners there faster than his teammate.
Yeah, he seems to be...
Inside, Kingsbury on Forster for the third spot. Forster's going to fight back. Kingsbury couldn't clear him out of the corner. Contact, and Howell sneaks past both of them.
Because that's what happens when you're battling someone. You slow yourself down a tiny bit, and especially when you're squeezing someone into the wall. Like what happened there is now Andrew Howell was able to capitalize on all that and jump into P3.
We look at the lap times for the top two. I know there's a battle that we're focused on screen. Hook to the inside of Forster. Just to update, Kraus ran a 44.748, Clog a 45.2, so it's half a second, even though in that opening sector there, it looked like Clog was faster than his teammate.
I wonder if Kraus kind of has a little bit of a better second half of the track as he ran really wide there, so did his teammate, as I think Josh Clog, he's a little bit better in the first sector, and then Kraus is able to stretch it back out on that second half.
Forster and Hook battling for the fifth spot, and they were nearly making contact off the sweeper. Hook ran it wide in the final couple of corners there, so that pretty much has muted that battle. Because remember, the top two will transfer through to the feature automatically, so Fiercely Forward trying to continue the stranglehold on the Constructors' Championship that they have, as we welcome in our viewers here on Nitro Circus Twitch, powered by the Automotive Sports Network.
As it looks like Luke Kraus is the only one still in the 44-second bracket at the moment. Clog ran a 45.6, Howell 45.8, and then Matt Kingsbury was second fastest on track with a 45.2. So he's trying to reel in Andrew Howell to see if he can be the first person out of the final.
We're going to take the white flag for Luke Kraus, car number one, position number one, and that's something that he's been all season long. Josh Clog in second, Howell in third after squeezing past Kingsbury and Forster when those guys were battling. And like I said in the opener, a season to remember for Luke Kraus. And technically he has not locked it up, but he more than likely will end up with more points. If he transfers through, I think it's actually locked up. So, final couple of corners, and with 6 wins on the season, and we're not even done yet, Luke Kraus unofficially is going to lock up his second consecutive championship in NASA Rallycross with a heat win in Atlanta.
Guys, I would have to say this has probably been one of the most dominant seasons we've had here in NASA.
By one car specifically, because previously we would have the teammates battling, me or you, me or Phil. Sindre and Robertson ring a bell recently on the iRacing platform, but nothing like Luke Kraus, all by himself.
Yeah, he's he's shown in week in, week out that why he's got that number 1 on his car with the red plate the whole time, and why he's also got that black tag to his name on the surface.
As he is the Pro World Championship level driver on the iRacing Dirt Road license. Grid for Heat 2, Larill, Schofield, Ragster, Fleming, Peterson, Fisher, and Chris Wetz. It's been a while since we saw the 51-71 in the same heat race, but it definitely wasn't Ian Fisher in that car the last time we mentioned it. So another 6 laps. Getting ready to go in Atlanta. And this race, compared to the other one, might be a little more entertaining, as we don't have the Fiercely Forward teammates in the same race. I don't think there's any teammates in this race. We'll just have to see. Green flag off the line. Larill gets a much better start. Van Schofield down into turn 1, car length lead. Ragster looks to the inside of Schofield, side by side for second, and Robbie Larill loves this. 91 of Ragster up on the grass. Peterson through the middle, hits Schofield into the tires, goes the 27.
Wetz gets a little crossed up over the jump. Unfortunately, gets sent into the tire barrier, or the fence actually.
He's got to do a 12-point turn in order to get back onto the track. Sabian Ragster, as we look up front, Ragster is pressuring the 213 of Larill into the fishbowl. 2 different lines. It looks like Larill ran a little bit higher up in the groove than Ragster did. Ragster right near the wall. And interestingly, the only car to joker is Ian Fisher in the 51, doing something completely different than these guys. For iDrive Sim, over the jump, he will lead at the end of the first lap, it looks like, in the 51.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised. I was expecting at least 1 or 2 people, like possibly Savion or Peterson, to possibly joker there to jump him, but obviously everyone seemed to be on the same page.
Let's see at the Joker rotation. The thing is with this Joker, as Savion, I thought he was going to take it. With this Joker, you have to run a little wide through the corner prior in order to get the better line through. And I thought Ragster was going to do it, but he compromised his line into the fishbowl. And there's one thing, if you remember driving this track, I want to hear your opinion of one of these cars on this track.
It's definitely, I would have best comparison to running this track is kind of like, funny enough, it's in the same almost city, or at least the same name. It's kind of like a Road Atlanta, where you have this technical section here where we are watching Parker Fleming come through, where it's real technical, like how the S's are at Road Atlanta. And then once you get through this section here, it's wide open, not as technical. You just gotta make sure you hit your braking marker into the sweeper on the downhill, and then you have that fast straightaway where the start-finish line is in the tabletop jump. So the best kind of analogy to put is very much like Road Atlanta in the section of, you have a real technical section, and then most of it's real easy, kind of just straight corners, just 90-degree hand corners, and it's the best way to put it.
As let's get back to what's going on track. Sabian Ragster has not taken his Joker in the 91. He's coming up on the 51 of Ian Fisher. Leading is Robbie Larill in the 213. Justin Robichaux's comment, lots of tarmac, and the sweeping dirt corners require a lot of patient footwork. In the sweeper that Ragster just exited, I dropped right side tires onto the dirt and fenced the car in my last race at Atlanta, and that was a further realization that I should hang up the helmet because I'm a washed-up has-been. Ragster is jokered in the 91, but nowhere close to Larill as we take 2 laps to go. I'm interested to see his lap times. I'll have to take a look because I thought Savion was consistently faster than Robbie, but it doesn't look like it. He's been consistently at least 3/10 off every lap.
Yeah, it seems like Robbie's stretched it out a little bit compared to the beginning of the race. There's a little bit more of a gap in between the two. Not sure if that's just the Subaru showing its dominance, or if Savion's made a little bit of mistakes as he runs a tiny bit wide there coming out of the left-hand sweeper.
As we now take the white flag in heat number 2, Larill still holds the lead. And it was a late season charge for Robbie Larill. Like I said in the open, just isn't consistent enough to hold that momentum. But if he would have had this performance at the beginning of the season, I think it would have given Luke a run for his money. But who knows? With Rafos and Lindo, they were both removed from the championship, given some driving standards in Norway. But if those had not happened, who would have known if we would have had a three-way fight for the championship? But hindsight is 2020, as they say, as we can't really speak about the past too much. But we can speak about Robbie Larill winning Heat 2 over the jump for DNF Auto Care, DGRX. He wins Heat 2. Ragster will transfer in the 91 as Fleming, Peterson, Schofield, and Fisher, and Wetz, best of the rest. What could have been for Schofield after, if he didn't get taken out in turn 1?
As I think he always seems to have some of the worst luck at the wrong times. Kind of stating back to hell last season with the whole disconnection and then getting pushed wide. So
he just doesn't have luck.
No.
And it's really unfortunate. Schofield's a hell of a driver, and the few times that I have interacted with him, great guy to be around, just has awful luck.
Which you were speaking on the whole us being washed up has-been since we're in the retirement home up here. I did happen to win a official Rallycross race this week, so I kind of know how to do it still a little bit, not much.
Unless I put you in this field, then you have no clue what you're doing.
Oh, then I have no idea.
As we look at the grid for Heat number 3, 2020 A champion Matt Hartley, Ray Kingsbury, Bodie Cryer, Adam Thomas, Justin Robichaux, and Nathan Ramsey. So this is our final Heat race, and we will determine our 7th and 8th seeds, or 5th and 6th. I know math. It's easy. 5th and 6th seeds here in Atlanta. Subaru's in the front row. Then we have 2 Beetles in 3rd and in 5th, getting ready to go in Atlanta for Heat 3. Green flag. Cryer gets a great jump compared to Hartley. 3 wide for the lead, down to turn 1. Hartley in the middle, meet sandwich contact nearly between Cryer and Hartley. That's oddly going to propel Hartley to the lead. Kingsbury's going to get shoved out by Cryer. Cryer checks him exiting turn 2. And we put Hartley sideways off the jump, does not hit the cones, but we put Cryer in the lead in the 0-5 from 3rd on the grid. Kingsbury back to 3rd. Robichaux up to 4th. Thomas and Ramsey. Let's see who jokers. The 2 teammates, satellite teammates, will take the joker. I don't know if that was a good idea for Hartley, but he's got a huge advantage off the sweeper. Contact between them and Hartley into the fence. And his team car puts him in the fence. I don't know how to react to that one, Cody, but Cryer leads at the end of the first lap.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure. We may have to kind of dig into that one a little bit deeper, as I know Hartley was not happy over the radio on that one. Them two were battling extremely hard. Unfortunately, yeah, like you said, satellite teammates.
Robichaux crashed in the sweeper. And I'm really upset that I had my voice chat muted for that. I wish I would have heard him, but I'm assuming it was a lot of profanity from Matt Hartley in the 48. Kingsbury, huge run off the sweeper, into the dirt, they make contact, and Cryer out! He's in the fence, Kingsbury stops, and this is going to put Hartley and Cryer right back up near each other. Dylan Body, you must be watching. The Twilight Zone must be happening because everything is just unraveled, and we're only 2 laps in.
Guys, I think these guys know that those 3 are probably the best bet to make the final, so they are battling their hearts out trying to make it in.
As I noticed that Kingsbury stabbed on the brakes, he didn't want to take a position like that, as of course won't go into details, but our thoughts with Ray Kingsbury dealing with some personal issues at the moment, battling for the lead. Hartley and Cryer, remember, satellite teammates, but there's no love lost, for Hartley just got sent into the fence by Cryer. Thomas jokers into Hartley! And I completely forgot about Adam Thomas in the 625. And he plowed. I don't know if that was his doing. I think they just drifted into him. I wasn't really paying attention. I wasn't expecting him in the 625.
Well, and that's part of the thing with the Joker here, is that it's kind of a blind entry. So if someone takes a Joker, they're on your outside and you have no idea they're out there.
Robichaux, I know it's not for the lead. Robichaux and Ramsey just came together in the final corner. And why I'm bringing this up, I was just about to mention that they didn't have any trouble, and they could have potentially snuck the transfer spot away. But Robichaux on the side of the jump in the 93, and these top two still battling like they've been glued to each other all race.
As a battle for the top two guys are going on here with Hartley and Brody Cryer, and then Ray Kingsbury. Oh, and Thomas, I think he disconnected or something.
Let me take a look.
He was running right in front of Ray, then all of a sudden just jumped
He flew out of the track. Because if you go over the fence in the sweeper, it is not textured, so you will fall out of the world.
Yep, and that's what happened to him. So unfortunately, from battling to be one of the front rows on the semifinals to now having to be the back row.
So what I would normally say is interesting is Hartley and Cryer were close on points because I thought they were. But Hartley into the wall in the 48. He is third in points. Cryer is fifth in points, but it's a gap of 40 points compared to these two. But knowing Hartley, he's going to put the car upside down on fire before he lets someone take him out and win the race.
Is that why they put the flames on their cars mid-season?
I didn't intend on that. White flag. As we enter the final lap, Hartley's going to send it on his satellite teammate, and he's going to hit him again in the 0-5.
As I think they wanted to put on a show for us after the first heat race, and they're doing a little bit too much.
This is critical, though, because Kingsbury now is going to transfer in the 25. As Hartley had three choices. It was to go around the sleeping policeman and get a penalty, hit the sleeping policeman and flip, or do what he did there. And I'd like to think he did the right thing, in my driving opinion. Over the jump, Matt Hartley, unless he's going to give it back, no, he wins heat 3 across the line very slowly. But it looks like Kingsbury has given the transfer spot back to Cryer in the 0-5. Unless, did he pull over? I can't see if he did.
Oh, he might have had a slowdown.
No, he was on the clutch.
Was he?
We'll have to see. What a performance by Hartley, even if it was a heat race ahead of Cryer. And I thought there was going to be some words traded on the scanner there, but nothing traded. It was only from Hartley. You threw everything at me, and I still got it, says Hartley in the 48.
As I think that's been one of our most wild heat races we've had all season.
Now we get ready for the first semifinal already. And just like that, we are in the second round of racing. Andrew Howell, Ray Kingsbury, Russell Peterson, Benjamin Forster, Nathan Ramsey, Ian Fisher, and Aldrich. And interestingly, Adam Thomas apologizing for the Joker exit. Even that was more of a racing deal, but
yeah,
we're up here and they're in the car, so they probably only see certain things and don't debrief. Top 3 advance. Peterson jumps, Ramsey jumps, and Howell gets bumped. I don't know if that's going to hurt either of them. But down to turn 1, Kingsbury leads. Howell checks Forster in the 23 out wide. Fisher and Peterson battling. Over the jump. Fisher into Forster, into Peterson. Kingsbury leads. Howell second, Peterson third after a crazy first section here. And Ramsey torn up on the left front.
Oh, Howell got crossed up, and now he just got wrecked by Peterson.
What is going on already here in Atlanta? And that was a huge overcorrection from Howell. And Peterson missed the corner. And by missing the corner, he's going to lose the transfer potentially. Ray Kingsbury loves this in the 25, out and away. Howell's got damage on the left rear. I don't think I see any suspension issue, just cosmetic on the 666. And this is 1 lap out of 8. Remember, these races are longer in the semifinals. These guys have plenty of time and 2 jokers, but it seems like nobody wanted to win on the first lap, or everyone tried to win on the first lap.
No, as a couple of guys aren't the happiest with taking a couple of weeks off here. So they're kind of blaming all the, which I don't agree with. If it's extra time you should have more practice with and be able to hit your lines right. So
Ramsey missed the corner in turn 1. Kingsbury still leads. Aldrich has jokered for the first time in the 98, but it's still a 14-second delta from Kingsbury to Aldrich.
As I believe Victor's looking at trying to make his first final. As Howell goes way wide and bounces into the wall right after the jump.
As I pay attention to the driver chat, and a couple drivers saying they don't like taking 2 or 3 weeks off. What's interesting is we were only off 1 week. And the interesting thing is when we were off 2 weeks between Brands Hatch and Sonoma, and the racing wasn't like this, I don't believe.
Although we wouldn't know. We were not there, unfortunately.
I wasn't there. I was wondering why I couldn't remember that race.
Yeah, you were sick and I was on a vacation.
So, with all of the shenanigans that are going on, it looks as though we have Kingsbury still in the lead. Howell is in the lead, or in second rather, but he just clobbered the wall. We have a couple black flags being cleared from the jump starts, but Benjamin Forrester sits in the third spot, trying to take the spot from the 666. And here's Aldrich. And if we look at these graphics, they have to be correct. Howell has taken both of his jokers, but Aldrich and Forrester have not. So 2 newcomers to the feature if they can hang on. And Forrester in his first race.
Yeah, as one of the newcomers to the series is looking like he's going to make his first feature, along with Victor, who's been running with us for the last 2 seasons, I want to say.
I believe so. Can't remember. It's been so long.
As we
halfway home for Ray Kingsbury in the 25, and he has had an easy run so far. Jokers are done for the top 4. Fisher is the first car that has not completed his strategy in the 51, but he is all torn up from the start. So is Ramsey in the 29. Peterson off track in car number 9. Ramsey into the wall in the final corner.
Yeah, as these 3 have really kind of set out with Forrester and Aldridge, them 2 kind of the only 2 closest ones on track, being P2 and 3.
So the first semifinal always usually aggressive, but it's happened in the first quarter of the race, as now lap 6 of 8, so we got 3 laps to go, and Kingsbury 6 seconds ahead of Forrester in the 23. But Forrester sees him. If we look at lap times, Kingsbury's 0.8 up on Forrester. So those 2 are in the 46s, Kingsbury in the 45s.
Yeah, and it looks like Howell must have some decent suspension damage. With all that damage, he's been almost in the 48s these last couple laps.
It's Ian Fisher as well, I think, has suspension damage. And I think all the cars except for Ray Kingsbury, because Kingsbury had that start, and I thought was going to be wadded up as he was in the middle, and survived and is pulling away with 2 laps to go.
Yeah, he also played the smart move then and took back-to-back jokers. This way he could just set himself out away from all the chaos. Just run good laps, as we've seen a lot of the guys do.
Forrester sits in second, Aldrich in third. They are equal on lap time. Well, by the 1,000th, 46.704 for Forrester, 708 for Aldrich. And Andrew Howell has clipped a sleeping policeman and spun in turn 1. So nothing changing there. And I think this race, aside from the obvious, it was run a while ago, it has slowly gotten further and further stretched out. White flag for Ray Kingsbury.
He's looking to put himself back in the final like we're used to seeing him.
As through the fishbowl for the final time. Such a thrilling corner when you get it right, but when you get it wrong, it's terrifying. Take it from me for experience. Ramsey blue flags in the 29. He's going to stay out of the way, hopefully, of the 25 at Kingsbury. Down the front slash back slash confusing, whatever it is, straightaway, as the start is on the different sector of track. Then the finish line. Over the jump for the final time in the semifinal, and Ramsey nearly hits the wall, but that doesn't scare Kingsbury. He wins the semifinal, and he will be our 7th seed. 9th seed in his first race in NASA, Benjamin Forrester in the 23, and 11th, Victor Aldrich. As it looks like 13th overall will be Fisher, as he got by Howell So Fisher, Howell, and Peterson round out the running order for semifinal A. And vehicular gymnastics back in the frame in NASA Rallycross.
It's only yeah, he's still going. As it's only fitting for the end of the season we have this. Hence, last season we had Ray Kingsbury sending himself to the moon, and now we have this.
Kingsbury, Forrester, Aldrich, our transferees, I guess you could say, in the semifinal. Fisher, Howell, Ramsey, and Peterson, the cars out in our first elimination race here in Atlanta. Parker Fleming, Matt Kingsbury, Justin Robichaux, David Schofield, Jason Hook, Adam Thomas, and Chris Wetz in this second semifinal here in Atlanta, Georgia.
Only 2 Subarus.
As I mentioned in the opener, it was really cloudy. It's almost getting a little bit more sunny as we take the green flag. Matt is blocking to the inside. Hook had to take evasive action. Fleming's nearly going to get hit. 3 wide. Schofield, Hook, and Fleming into turn 1. Fleming checks Hook. Robichaux tries to sneak in, gets turned by Thomas, 625. Thomas shoots the gap between Hook and Schofield. Words are hard. What did we just witness, Cody, as Matt Kingsbury leads?
As it looks like everyone wanted to recreate the first race and all crash over the jump. Because unfortunately, that's what happened to everyone.
Robichaux spins it off in turn number 2. No jokers so far. Matt Kingsbury, Schofield jokers in the 27. Thomas, Hook, Wetz, Fleming. It's Thomas really loose off the joker in the 625. At least, I don't think he took the joker. He did exactly what I did. He hit the wall on the inside, ran it way out wide, and clipped the right rear on the grass. Good save for the Volkswagen, though. 3 wide on board, looking back at Robichaux and Hook.
As the 2 Dirt Esports teammates head up the fair shifter entry of Jason Hook here, as Thomas and Hook go into the joker, leaving Robichaux the odd man out on that one.
That's 2 jokers in the semifinal. And inside of Thomas went Hook. Couldn't get anything done there. This is going to be, if the running order is correct, this is for second and third. As Schofield, Robichaux, Wetz, and Fleming, those guys at the back of the field. Sleeping policeman got hit by Thomas. Hook had to avoid. He had to straight line the corner. And these 2 battling. Matt Kingsbury loves this up front. Jokering as Thomas in the 625 will complete his strategy as Kingsbury out and away after completing his strategy in the 21. Robichaux is going to come out of the joker with a better run. Will he get the slipstream down the back straightaway? He doesn't need it. To the inside, Robichaux goes on Hook. Hook locked up the rears, trying to get through turns 1 and 2. Shallower line on entry. Contact between them over the jump. Between the 2 for the transfer. And I thought that Hook was going to come over into Robichaux on the exit of that jump.
It does look, well, that right front damage. I think Jason Hook does have a little bit of suspension damage because you can see him trying to struggle with it down the front straightaway. And I think that's why he's kind of overshooting corners and everything.
Robichaux has an opportunity at a feature race, and he sends it on Hook. He's going to stop. And he was going to let Hook go. He was going to let Hook go, but Hook couldn't do that because Schofield was getting into the mix. And now we put Schofield in the transfer.
Yeah, the 2 Dirt Esports Beatles of Adam Thomas and Matt Kingsbury both checked off from the field away from the mass chaos. I think Thomas played the smart move of taking that second joker when he did.
Cross flags.
Schofield, yeah, he's sitting in the catbird seat at the moment, only having taken 1 joker so far.
As Kingsbury, Thomas. Schofield, I think, is going to pip Thomas for sure. Maybe even Kingsbury. We'll see right now. Definitely not Matt, but he at least gets by Thomas for the second spot. So it's Dirt Esport, Spark LLM, and Dirt Esport. As Hook still had a joker left, which is the worst part. after being collided with by Justin Robichaux.
Yeah, unfortunately, he was tangled up in that as he was looking to battle his way into the final, but after getting turned around there in the fishbowl, looks like it's not going to be.
We took 3 laps to go, 2.5 now for Matt Kingsbury, the man from Connecticut. The one Kingsbury brother to win a race in NASA Rallycross, as Ray Kingsbury has not had good luck in the Subarus, but Matt Kingsbury won in Wild West in 2020A. We're going to take 2 laps to go. No change for the top 3, as it looks like all strategy has been run. We did mention Hook completed his strategy right as I was mentioning that he didn't. So it looks like, well, everyone except Chris Wetz and Fleming. They haven't taken their strategies either. This is interesting. 46.9, 45.9. Schofield's quicker than Matt, but Parker is on pace with Matt. But that's a long gap to make up.
Yeah, I think that the whole first lap jump incident with Parker Fleming has kind of pushed him out. If he was able to manage his way through the mess on that first lap, I think he'd be in fighting contention for a feature spot, but I don't think it will be today, although I've said that before and I've been proven wrong, so we're definitely going to find out.
The 9-second delta for each Joker, so you'll put, if you put 9 seconds between them, that will put them way far back. They both Joker, 71 of Wetz and the 434 of Fleming. And yeah, Kingsbury just took the white flag. They have not gotten to the white flag yet. So it looks like that this race will probably be sealed very shortly.
Which, that is true, although, oh yeah, I'm just looking at it. I don't think Fleming will even be able to get up to Thomas, who is sitting in P3 at the moment. So, fortunately, coming up a little bit short just because of the little bit of first lap chaos that happened.
Checkered flag, Matt Kingsbury will seed in the 8th position. 10th will be David Schofield, and 12th will be Adam Thomas for the round of Atlanta. And you notice the contact between Wetz and Hook, and Wetz out of the park in the 71. Fleming at least gets best of the rest, and I know it's not what you prefer, but it's better than last. Fleming 14th, 16th Hook, 18th Robichaux, 20th Thomas, and 21st Chris Wetz, who flew to a different state.
Which, like you said, not exactly what we want to see, although I will have to say I think our team probably has the most of the best of the rest of the season, because it feels like almost every week we have one car that's in the semifinal that's in P4.
As we take a look at those official results of the semi-final, as we can actually, I will do a live update of the points with the heat race points factored in. We're going to take a look, do something a little bit different instead of listen to cars going around in a circle. So if we look at heat number 1, it was Luke Krause and Josh Klug. And in true NASA fashion, I'm going to type this in on a live stream. And yes, I'm going to get grief for that. And then we have Robbie Larill and Sabian Ragster. But Cody, I don't think this is going to do too much to the points, do you think?
I don't think a whole lot, as I don't think much of a point swing on where, especially for the top spot. I think lower on through the field, points are a little bit tighter, so it could be, people could change or get closer coming into the feature here. And maybe, like you were speaking of, Cryer and Hartley being kind of close in points, 40 points, but there was someone in between them too that could be, they could have pulled away from a little bit or reeled in.
So final points to import: Fleming, Hook, Robichaux, and Wetz. So we have Fleming, Hook,
As it is nice to see a couple new faces here at the end of the season here with Forrester and Aldridge making the feature. Especially with Forrester, with this race being his first race ever here with us. So good to see some fresh faces here in NASA Rallycross.
As now that I'm not calculating points, we're going to take a look, and there was really no change. The only changes are because the 13th down the order points are settled, and the other cars have not been settled yet, as Schofield with 9 points, but Larill won a heat race, so he's going to get more points. So really can't do that yet until the features run, but we at least took a look at the points of the cars that transferred. The top 5, Kraus, Clog, Hartley, Kingsbury, Cryer, and nothing had changed. That order still remains the same from earlier this evening.
Yeah, so like we were saying, I think the big shakeup will be getting through this first lap of the feature. And then once we finish, I think that'll be the big shakeup in points. Does they make a difference when you start racking them up, especially like heat wins and seeding like top seeds and stuff? Those add up over time, but just in a single race format, they don't make as much of a difference.
As we look through the warm-up running order, something that I, kind of forgot existed. As fastest, I believe, is Robbie Larill by 2.5 tenths. I was expecting Luke Kraus, but I don't think he's gotten on track yet.
I don't believe he has. He seems to like the hide in practice and everything, although he's on track now, so I wonder if he just didn't get a clean lap in, possibly.
And we have just under a minute left to go here in Atlanta. Glad you can join us on Nitro Circus Twitch or the Automotive Sports Network on demand. Josh Mertz, Cody Erdmann in the commentary cube, Zack Johnson in the production truck, as the penultimate round of the season here in NASA Rallycross. The Atlanta Long March for Peace Armistice Remembrance presented by DNF Auto Care. As our broadcast and series brought to you by Simracer Coin, the cryptocurrency made by sim racers for sim racers, and our 12 sim racers will race to own the winner's coin tonight. We welcome you to Atlanta for the 204th round overall of the championship and round number 9 of the 24th season of the Simracer Coin NASA Rallycross Challenge. And if these onboards are any indication, this feature is going to be electric, obviously on the start and into turn 1, but I think all race long.
Yeah, as we've seen, after that first heat with the Tracy Ford guys, I don't know if the intensity just ratcheted up or what was going on, but just mass chaos ensued throughout the entire field trying to make this final.
As we take a look at our grid, it has gotten cloudier in Atlanta, so I lied. I thought the sun was out. Defending champion Luke Kraus on pole position. Robbie Larill, Matt Hartley, Josh Clog, Savian Ragster, your top 5. Bodie Cryer, Ray Kingsbury, Matt Kingsbury, Benjamin Forrester, Schofield, the top 10. And the last 2 seeds, it is Aldrich with Adam Thomas. 10 laps, 2 jokers, 12 cars, and we have seen Calamity in turn 1. We've seen Calamity in turn 2 and over the jump. Can we make it without contact through turns 1 and 2? We'll have to see. As we await Larill. Mind games with Kraus, it looks like. Kraus didn't want a grid for warm-up, and Larill doesn't want a grid for the feature. Luke Kraus on voice, I'm expecting something. No Larill! No, Larill's on track now. As we get ready for 10 laps here in Atlanta, the penultimate round of the season about to begin. And can anyone dethrone Luke Kraus? We will have to see. We go green in Hampton, Georgia, and off the line, Luke Kraus gets a better jump than Larill down to turn 1. Clog peaks on the inside. Hartley's on the inside of Clog. Contact, 1 car wide, 3 cars wide. It was Schofield, Cryer, and it was Thomas. Contact, it looked like, with Larill and Hartley as Kraus out where he wants to be and where he has been all season long. Larill a couple car lengths back, down into turn number 1. Hartley in the 48, Clog, Ragster, Kingsbury, and Kingsbury. I'm surprised that they haven't crashed into each other, and I say that with the most love as we take the Joker for the first time. Top two, it's Loril and Kraus to the Joker, and nobody else will take to the strategy through the fishbowl for the first time. No contact, but Luke Kraus, like I said, Cody, right where he wants to be.
Yeah, Luke Kraus and Robbie, kind of the top two guys of the series so far this season, or at least that's what it seems like. Set out first and second with Matt Kingsbury. He did take the Joker, so now he's in P3 at the moment. Set out away from the rest of the field as Hartley is the best of the non-Joker brigade of lap one. As a gaggle of cars behind him, though.
As I was just about to mention, as strategy complete for the top three. So Kingsbury, good idea for him to get out of the hornet's nest of whatever's going on, as Hartley Joker's in the 48, so does Schofield in the 27. But his brother, Ray Kingsbury, stuck in traffic in the 25, and that's one thing I would think, especially here with the street circuit nature of the twisty bits, that's the worst part, because you have nowhere to go.
Yeah, there's only really two good overtaking spots. One is obviously the Joker, and then going into that right-hand sweeper coming to the start-finish line are really your only two good overtaking positions, because you really don't want to do it going into the start of the S's, because then you just happen to have what Matt and Bodie Cryer, I believe it was, in their heat race where they kind of crashed into each other. That's very likely to happen.
Up front, or actually, sorry, it's Clog and Aldrich battling. Mistook him for Luke Kraus. Kraus at the line, 1.7 seconds ahead. It's to the inside. Kingsbury of Aldrich into the penultimate corner. He sneaks the position away from the Team Watson Racing Volkswagen.
As now Matt Hartley.
Thomas has turtled himself in the 625. He's in the middle of the racing group. He's back on his wheels.
As he looks to be out of the way now.
He starts to back up nearly into our race leaders. So we'll take the 625 off the lead lap. Off the road goes Loril in the 213. He got away with that one. But I had a thought while you were mentioning about the way the track is and the overtaking, and that's what left me. But what's back is with the first couple of corners, I know, dive bombs, they aren't cool, whatever, but you have the opportunity to, because if you need to, you can bail out of it with the grass on the right side. But there's guaranteed contact if you do that with the walls there.
Yep. As we see, Matt Hartley was able to catch up to Robbie Loril, so kind of the two Australian drivers that are trying to lead the brigade of the non-fiercely forward dominance that we've seen all season. These two battling hard for the second step of the podium at the moment.
We'll consider Loril a transplant Australian, the man from Texas who practices at 3 in the morning with his friends from Australia. Australia, I think, is like 16 hours ahead of Central Time, so I guess that is how you align your time schedules. As we begin the cross flags lap for Luke Kraus, does anything ever hamper this guy? Unless it's himself.
As we said, I think it's just himself, as we saw in Phoenix. As I'm not sure exactly on the time differential.
Hartley, sorry to interrupt you.
Nope, you're good.
Hartley is screaming at Loril over the radio. He's trying to get him out of the way as Loril, I think, is holding Hartley up.
As Matt Kingsbury, Matt got destroyed by his teammate, Thomas. I don't know what that was all about.
Oh, Thomas jokered in the 625. He crashed in the Joker.
Yeah, but like totally missed it.
So no, I'm looking at it. I know we're not taking a look on live stream, but he clipped the left rear on the gantry in the banner in the Joker. It sent him into the racing line and into the wall. Oh, there we go. I forget Zach Johnson can do that. But exactly what I just described.
Yeah, and just blast his teammate Matt, who was sitting P4 at the time, and now they're both, I believe, out of the race.
As Hartley's still trying to pass his teammate, but there's the one time, and I say this with love and hopefully no ill intent, but the one time that Matt does not crash, he gets crashed. What's his luck? Nothing.
If he didn't have bad luck, you wouldn't have any luck at all.
I think that's how that phrase goes. As Ragster battling with Schofield, that's for 5th, or sorry, that's for 7th. As we pay attention for the moment for Hartley and Larill. Hartley's gotten by Larill. It's a day late, $1 short.
As Larill just brushed the back bumper of Hartley there coming out of the fishbowl. Some real close quarter racing between these two. You can tell they've probably practiced a ton in the laps, knowing how each other races. As now Clog is caught up to the back bumper of these two.
Strategy cards have been played, I believe, so nothing's left. No, Clog? That can't be right. I think Clog just took a joker. Let's see. Yes, he did. I was just about to say, there's no way that he can be that close and only one joker. So, Forster has taken his joker. Looks like no strategy left. We're just really cruising to the finish. As Larill still trying to get by Hartley, but what a season for Luke Krause. Like I mentioned in the opener, 6 wins. It was 5 in a row. Robbie Larill says he's going to run out of fuel in the 213. This is crucial for the podium spot.
Yeah, it looks like the fiercely forward teammate of Luke and Josh Clog, he may be able to get the 3rd step if that does happen.
I take the white flag, but Luke Krause is going to break the record that Jake Robertson recently broke with 6 wins on the season. Clog gives Larill a bump. Larill's got to be jumping on fumes, and Larill trying to take the podium spot back. He nudges the 199 and turns him in the fishbowl. He connects it with him to save him and take out himself.
And Ray Kingsbury got involved in it a little bit, so now he's was able to pass him by.
Final corner, over the jump for the final time. It is a 7th win in this season. Luke Krause winning in Atlanta, cementing his defense of the championship. Hartley comes home in 2nd with a podium, and it's a double podium for Fiercely Forward, 1st and 3rd. Ray Kingsbury 4th. 5th is Benjamin Forster as Larill ran out of fuel.
Yeah, unfortunately, he ran out there. And congratulations to Benjamin Forster being the top 5 in his very first NASA Rallycross event. So good showing with him. I think that'll turn some eyes to some team owners. May get signed up here for season 2.
Krause, Hartley, Clog, our podium in Atlanta. Kingsbury, Forster, Larill, Ragster, Schofield, Aldrich, Cryer, Kingsbury, Thomas. That is the remaining running order of the feature. As a reminder, 13th down the order for odd positions, it was Fisher, Howell, Ramsey, and Peterson. And then odd positions down the order, it was Fleming, Hook, Robichaux, and Wetz. The running order. And in true NASA fashion, it is full send for Luke Krause. And what a fitting way to clinch the championship with stunts like that. Because we're going to try and bring in our defending champion is, of course, nowhere to be found, and nor is his teammate Josh Clog, so we will at least have a chat with Matt Hartley. I'll bring him in here in just a minute. Matt Hartley, as a lot of stuff happened in that race, but what I first want to hear from you is what was your reaction on getting sent to the grass in turn 1?
I don't know, man. Turn 1. Yeah, I just had to dig, mate. I just had to dig, and just hold on to it, and just fight my heart out, and show them. I'm gonna put my elbows out and dig deep, mate. Hope I wasn't too aggressive with anyone, but I had to really. I got to make hay while the sun shines, man.
I guess I should have specified, so I apologize there. I was mainly talking about the heat race because you did a wonderful race in the feature, but the heat race, everyone was like a ping pong ball.
Yeah, I know, man. It's like I had a target on my back. I just got I missed the start by a little bit and then gained it back a bit, but it was a little bit of a blur. But I do know what happened on the Joker. It just felt like he stepped over a little bit too far on the last little move. One move was all right, but he moved again. and yeah, just got launched into the fence. We are yet to have a look at a replay of that, but we will. All good. And I came through. I just had a red miss then, mate, and I was just out to get him, out to get anyone. Yeah, just put him under pressure. Whoever was in my road, I was just hunting. That was. I'm
Cool.
pumped for another P2, man. Always a bridesmaid. Come on.
As you only have, I hate to bring it up this way, but you have one win in the series, and it was here.
I know.
In 2028.
Yeah. Yeah, and that was a whitewash too, kind of thing. Okay, yeah, there was a big incident in the first corner, but you got to be there to capitalise. And I did get pole in that race and won my heat as well.
As
yeah,
Cody Erdmann, you got anything for Mr. Hartley?
As one, congratulations on being P2 and surviving the mass chaos that happened tonight. I don't know if it was a full moon or what was going on.
Yeah, so that's where practice comes in handy, because you get to deal with that in practice. We all sort of like be mongrels sometimes with each other. You know what I mean? Like in practice, just like really lean on each other and whatnot. But yeah, so you got to be prepared. Yeah, some of those collisions, man, like on the Jokers, like getting rear-ended and sideswiped, but yeah, and still been able to survive. That was pretty cool. I just had to hold my head into the feature and just eyes forward. Robbie was a little bit slow there. I was a bit quicker than him. I was worried it was something was going to happen like last time at Phoenix. I just got held up by him a bit and then got frustrated and tried to pull a move on him and wrecked it. But this time he made a small mistake, which let me get up the inside of him and away from there. And
I was just about to ask. With that, I heard you on the radio talking about Robbie. What was he? Was he slower, or am I just crazy and so you saw at the same pace?
No, I reckon he was a bit slower than me. I had a bit more pace. I reckon I probably could have kept up with Luke a bit more, a bit closer to him, put him under a bit of pressure. Yeah, he's Robbie. Don't get me wrong, Robbie puts in the practice. He's quick, but yeah, I just think I had a bit more pace in him in this race. The conditions of the track.
And the last thing I have for you is there anyone you'd like to thank for yet another P2 finish?
Yeah, mate, I'd love to thank my teammate, Jason. He's awesome. He's such a good bloke. Love to thank Andrew for being there and hanging in there. He's getting so much better. Ferry shifters in general, DGR and NASA, Nitro Circus, and Simracer Coin. Awesome. And you guys for commentating. Well done.
Thank you, mate. Well, good run today. And we'll see you in a couple weeks to wrap this championship up in Daytona.
Yeah, man. Look out, Luke. I'm coming for you. I know it's a bit too late, but yeah, I'm coming, buddy.
As you hear it from the 2028 champion, Matt Hartley. And I have to agree, Cody, it was a little late, but he's got the pace. And if he carries this momentum in the next season, who knows what could.
Yeah, if he can get a little bit of momentum rolling here and then be able to kind of bottle it up for next season, just unleash on these guys when they get to our 2022 kickoff season, he may be one of the favorites to win. Because I know you can just tell in his voice and his tone that he really wants to win another title. And I think, again, fitting that he has flames on his cars because you can just tell the fire's lit within that whole team. And I think they want to come get those fiercely forward guys for next season.
As a couple programming notes on Nitro Circus Twitch, powered by the Automotive Sports Network. We are off on Wednesday for the championship series, but we are back Thursday for the finale of the Penguin RC Simulation NASA Sports Car Challenge presented by Nitro Circus. We'll have Chattervine and Mike Berry ? Is what's next to the analyst tab in the show notes. So we'll see. I don't know. Unfortunately, I'll be working because holiday season in retail, and it is what it is. I love my job. As we will be off in the Rallycross Challenge for next week, Black Friday, as once again, I'll be busy at work. But the championship series will be running Nashville. That's the penultimate round. You'll have Chad Irvine and Dylan Livingood in the commentary cube for that one. But we only have one more race, and it's November 29th at Daytona Beach. It's actually the last Rallycross race. I thought it was the last race of 2021, but that is a lie. We go to Long Beach for the IndyCars. But from all of us here at North American Simulated Auto Racing, Nitro Circus, and the Automotive Sports Network. We thank you for joining us for this presentation of the Simracer Coin NASA Rallycross Challenge. Coverage today was brought to you by Simracer Coin, the cryptocurrency made by Simracers for Simracers, and while our 20 Simracers race to own the winner's coin tonight, for the 7th time this season, only Luke Krause came on top. We'd also like to thank Majors Garage for powering our series with KES Industries, iDrive Sim Training, DNF Auto Care, and Ferris Shifters. For Zack Johnson and Cody Erdmann, I am Josh Mertz. We will see you in Daytona Beach to wrap this season up. But until then, so long, everyone.